Okay, welcome to the final video of this first module. This is a long module. This is probably the most in-depth module because if you get this right, everything else becomes a lot easier. All your decisions become a lot easier if you get this first module right, your total clarity of purpose. So in this video, we're now going to identify your perfect client. Who is your next perfect client that you want to focus all of your energy on attracting to your business? Now, just a little disclaimer here. It doesn't mean that you're going to say no to everyone else. It doesn't mean that you're only going to work with this particular client. What it means is that this is the perfect type of client for your business because it's the client that you can benefit, the client that will benefit the most from working with you, the client that you can add the most value to. But it doesn't mean you're going to say no to everyone else. And of course, it doesn't mean that you're not going to work with other clients. This is just your ideal client, your perfect client. So to work out your perfect client, now that you've identified and been able to articulate the benefits that your sweet spot offers, you just have to ask yourself this very simple question. Who stands to benefit the most from what it is I do, from the benefits that I offer? So for example, if the benefits you offer are helping non-profits attract more donors into their database because your sweet spot is, you're passionate about non-profits and you're really good at converting landing pages, for lead capture and getting people to sign up to email lists, then that's your sweet spot. And that's who stands to benefit the most is, a marketing manager or a campaign manager for a non-profit. So it's quite simple. Who stands to benefit the most from what it is you do? If you are excellent at getting better conversions out of landing pages, then someone with no traffic probably doesn't stand to benefit the most. You want to find someone who's got a large audience already. If you're great at email marketing, designing and developing beautiful email marketing templates and helping clients deliver email marketing strategies and campaigns, then who stands to benefit the most? Someone with a large database that they're currently not emailing on a regular basis. That's who stands to benefit the most from what it is you do. So, who stands to benefit the most? And what we're going to do now is use John Jantsch's framework from the fabulous book Duct Tape Marketing to identify who this client is and bring them to life. And here is the framework, and then I'll show you the worksheet. Here is the framework, the physical description, and I'll show you a real example of how we've done this in our business. The physical description is not necessarily what they look like, it's just their characteristics. So, might be a female aged, 35 to 55. And that might be the typical campaign or marketing manager for a non-profit. That's the physical description. It's as simple as that. A female aged, or you might actually say marketing manager for a non-profit, who's typically a female aged 35 to 55. That's the physical description. Then we get into the important stuff, which is the psychographics, not so much the demographics. I don't really care where they live. I don't really care if they're married with kids. I don't really care what they do on the weekends. I'm more interested in their psychographics, what they want, what their biggest desire is for their business, their biggest problem, the biggest challenge they have right now. And I'll show you an example of this in a moment, so bear with me. How they buy. So, do they buy from trade conferences? Do they buy from sales reps going to meet with them? Do they buy online from reading blogs or responding to ads on Facebook? And the best way to communicate with them. And here's an example of Jenny. I put this together for a masterclass we ran in Chicago, but this is actually an ideal client for us in our client services business. Jenny is a marketing manager at a medium-sized nonprofit in the Chicago area. Could be anywhere, it doesn't matter. She is recruiting, so that's her physical description. Jenny is a marketing manager at a medium-sized nonprofit in Melbourne or Chicago, wherever. That's the physical description. What does she want? She is recruiting new ambassadors for their cause. That's what she's doing. And let me just explain ambassadors. Ambassadors are usually kind of celebrities that get on board and help a charity because the celebrities have a large following already of fans. So non-profits, it's very common for them, instead of going after individual donors to get on their database, they recruit ambassadors, and then by default they recruit the ambassador's audience. So if you've got a football star or a celebrity who's got thousands of fans online and they stand up and say, hey, I'm now supporting this new charity, you instantly get your message across to their audience. So Jenny is recruiting new ambassadors for their cause. That's what she wants. Her biggest problem is she's overwhelmed with tactics but lacks a coherent online strategy. How does she buy? She's influenced by the opinions of her peers, and she spends a lot of time online researching new ideas to try and attract influencers to her organization and to her charity and to her cause. So that's how she buys, and that's the best way to communicate with her. So I know very clearly now that I can put together a campaign to target Jenny and say, hey, we help nonprofits attract high-level ambassadors with large audiences to their cause, and this is how we do it. And then I just start putting content out online and start getting that message in front of Jenny. And I would probably, you know, if I really want to do this properly, I would interview some marketing managers from nonprofits on a podcast or on a video blog, and I would send that out to other nonprofit marketing managers who are looking for this kind of information. Yeah, pretty simple, pretty clear content marketing strategy, but it's targeted because I now know who stands to benefit the most from what it is I do, and I know how to find Jenny, and I know the method in which I need to put my information in front of her. Jenny, for example, in your situation, Jenny might be influenced by trade conferences. So your job then is to either go and exhibit at a trade conference or go and speak at a trade conference. Every situation is going to be different. The point is, your marketing efforts are now focused because you know who it is that stands to benefit the most from what it is you do, your sweet spot, and you know how to find them, and you know the exact message to put in front of them. There's no point me going along talking to Jenny about SEO on her website. I want to talk to Jenny about how I can help her recruit new ambassadors for their charity, because that's what she wants. And I'll say something like, I'll just remove all the overwhelm of all the online tactics and give you a very coherent strategy to follow, a step-by-step process to follow. How does that sound, Jenny? And we'll attract some big ambassadors to your cause. And all of a sudden, I've got her attention. Yeah? Okay, your job now is to come over to the worksheet and fill in your perfect client profile. So based on the work that you've done now, analyzing and thinking about why you do what it is you do and writing that down, and then thinking about your skills and your passion and identifying your sweet spot, and then articulating that sweet spot into benefits. Now your job is to work out who benefits the most from what it is you do, and to use John's framework from Duct Tape Marketing to write out a simple paragraph based on that framework. Physical description, what they want, their biggest problem, how they buy, and the best way to communicate with them. And so ultimately what you're going to end up with is something like this, an ideal client profile card or a client avatar card. And I would find a stock image that you think looks like your client and give them a name, bring them to life. And then everything we do in our business, every blog post, every email, every tutorial, every tweet, everything we do in our business is designed and made for Jenny. Yeah? Helps you get a lot of focus in terms of your content marketing. So, print out the worksheet, fill it in, and I'll see you in Module 2.